So you run a coaching business, a mentorship, or any info product, and you're killing it. You're crushing it. You're doing 10 to 30K a month. Everything's all good until it's not. You soon find yourself spending 40 plus hours a week on admin tasks, client fulfillment, managing members. And the issue is, people will just tell you, just hire a VA or just hire a CSM. And you know, if you hire someone into that current chaos, it's not going to go well. So in this video, what I'm going to do is take you through the 5-step process we do for our clients to ensure you get your freedom back and to save you 40 plus hours a week. So let's get into it. So before we get into the 5-step process, we have to kind of understand what's going on. And 9 times out of 10, it's a case of you've scaled to a good level, but the issue is you're spending way too much time inside the business on stuff that truly is dragging and holding you back. You're spending 40 plus hours either doing admin tasks, constantly repeating yourselves, hopping on calls where you don't need to. And as a result of that, your quality is dropping for your clients. People aren't happy because you're not giving them enough time. And the issue is scaling your front end here just really doesn't help this at all. It just adds to the fire, right? So what we're going to do, like I said at the start, is take you through a 5-step process to gain back at least 20 hours a week, but to also understand where you're spending your time, how you're managing it, and to implement certain systems to enable you to gain back your freedom. So let's get into it. So the first step you need to take is to audit your time. And the main issue with this is so many people run off assumptions. Now, if you actually look at your data, it might not be as bad as you think. It might just be a quick tweak. But the main issue is, oh, I think I spend an hour a week on calls, or I think I spend 3 hours a week setting homework up. But in reality, it might be 10 times worse than that, and you just don't realize it. You know, the issue is most coaches get in this mindset of they're just on overdrive mode. They're tunnel vision of just getting through the day, that the day actually is extremely unproductive. So the first thing you should do for this week only, and you can look at past weeks too, is note down every single thing you do in your business regarding your current issues. So when you take a call, note down what the call's for, why you're doing it. If you're writing a response, note down what's the question. If you collect a bank of these, and we'll go over it in the next section, I can guarantee you now, changing it, implementing it, and just having the data to be able to tweak things makes things a lot easier. Now, step 2, eliminate. The main issue with a lot of people I've worked with is that there is so much jargon, there's so much rubbish inside the course that they think is like worthy, they think it's a present, they think it's a gift, right? But in reality, it just creates confusion. And as we know, and as you know, when someone is confused, what happens normally is they'll ask a lot of unnecessary questions. For our clients, we remove all the jargon, so basically there is no confusion. And as a result of this, so many hours have been saved a week. For this week, what I also want you to do is go through your course, look at your consumption rates if you have them, look at where people drop off, and look at what questions basically keep coming up. If questions are related to a certain module or a certain topic, basically, and the question's based around confusion, well, there's two things. You either get rid of the module, or what we talk about in a sec, you create material to fill the gap. Step 3 links to basically step 1's findings of the audit. Now, you'll probably really will want to use a sample size larger than 1 week. But what you want to do, and what we've done for our clients that works so well, is basically have a list of all the findings of questions, explaining how the platform works, where do I find X, re-explaining what's already in the course. So this happens so much. And then also something that happens a lot is setting individual homework. And what we do is basically we put it into a knowledge bank, and what I mean by that is that's per module. Now, and what we have is basically a part of each module, there is a kind of like an FAQ section, a help section, which they can look at, and it's basically based all around these questions specifically for that section. In the onboarding, we basically say to them, look guys, we're here to help you, but everything is already there. So go look at the help section, have a crack at it. If you can't do it, come back to us and we'll help. 9 times out of 10, every question they have should be answered in that knowledge bank for that module. So step 4 is one that I just don't really see too much within a community, and it stems from kind of the first impressions, the onboarding, and that's basically just to clarify what they have to do, like what is their role in this. And the easiest way to do that is to give them a roadmap to tell them week 1 you're going to do this, you'll get the outcome of this. Week 2 you're going to do this and you'll get this outcome. Week 3 you're going to do this, you get this outcome. And by doing this, it just sets up expectations, it makes things super clear, and as a result of that, 1, it's broken down easier so people can consume it easier. 2, they're not asking you, oh, so I know we have a course, right? But they're not asking you, oh, so what do I do next after this? Or just a little tip as well, basically when you've got course content, to make it so much easier for consumption, either lock it to where they have to basically complete module 1, prove to you guys that they can complete module 1 to be able to move on to module 2, or you can have a drip feed content, which enables also, again, consumption to be based better rather than them consuming through 5 modules in a day. Now, step 5, leverage. Now, if you have run a community mentorship, whatever it is, and you have over 20 people in your community, the best thing you can do is to use them to your advantage. Rather than getting people in the environment of, oh, I need to post in our one-to-one section, or I need to post in DMs, which is even worse, get them to post their questions into a members chat, into a questions chat, and I can guarantee you now, your top performers, your top contributors will always help them out. And it's just about creating a culture really where clients help each other out. At the end of the day, you're training them to be experts, right? And they're still in that learning mindset, whereas you're not. So their insights can even be sometimes better than yours. Of course, when it comes down to expertise, there's questions that only can be answered by you. But in this scenario, 100% try in the onboarding, in the when you give them that roadmap, point them in the direction to be free, post basically a lot of stuff in the questions channel. Now, there's one huge thing that we've kind of implemented which has helped so many people, and it's be proactive rather than reactive. If you're the one that's reaching out to them, that means they're in a pretty good spot. I think it's too much to cram into this video, so I'm going to do it into the next video. But one way you can do it is just to create milestones based off basically consumption and their wins. Check in how they're doing, make sure the progress actually is going in. If they're having any issues, then let them know. And by doing this, you basically refrain from having loads of questions all the time because you're checking in with them. And using all of those steps we've talked about, step 1 to 5, I can guarantee you now it should save you another 10 to 20 hours within your business. Now, if you want to learn a bit more about how we took creators from being 40 hours a week in admin by putting a CSM into their business, done for you managed service, then book a call below and let's get talking.